Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. It is August 23rd, about 1:30 p.m. Central Time, my time. It is 3 days away from the last preseason game we'll have against Seattle. I do believe our first team will at least run a series or two. At least I hope so. I would like to see the offense, starting offense, run a series or two. What we saw from Kevontae Turpin against the Chargers, I know it's preseason. A lot of people trying to downplay, he did it, yeah, but it's preseason, cool your jets, this and that. If it was so easy to return a kick in preseason, then we should see a lot more of them. But to do it twice in one half on a punt and a kick, the kick return was great, was good, but the punt return was even better. Just YouTube the punt return and look at how he makes it happen. Most return men would catch that ball, would call a fair catch, first of all, which I thought he would, and he didn't. And with him not calling a fair catch, I thought he had a good chance of just getting, decleated, like Madden used to call it, a decleater, when you get knocked on your ass real hard. He catches the punt, shuffles back like a Marshall Falkish type move, shuffles back a step like he was moonwalking. The defender tackles air, and then he just cuts up to the left into a small little seam, cuts right, and then grass. And when you have him and 10 yards of grass radius around him, it's either going to be a big play or a touchdown. And that was a touchdown. Now, I wonder, because he is also a receiver. In the USFL, he was their leading receiver. Now, while Gallup is down, he is supposed to, the information I'm getting more than not is that, the over-under on him is 3 games, him coming back. He could possibly make it back for week 2. But, it could be week 4 or week 5. Skip Bayless keeps saying week 8. I don't know why. But I do believe that he could return for the Cincy game. If not, if he doesn't return for the Bengals game, I would just sit him for the Giants game because I don't believe we need him to beat the Giants. And then bring him back for Washington. He should be good for week 4. But for those first 3 games, Turpin can really help this offense in the receiving game. I believe the run game is going to be good. With the addition of Tyler Smith, a great run-blocking offensive lineman who actually fits very well at guard in the NFL with his size, and Terrence Steele at right tackle at his rightful position. He was great at right tackle last season. As you saw, he was horrible at left. He's not a swing guy. He's a right tackle. Our run game is going to be tough, and that's why I really want to see our first starting offense, our first string offense, run a couple of series against the Seahawks to see what that run game looks like with Martin out there and Ty Smith and everybody against Seattle's starting defense. And I think Kevontae Turpin with his size, you have Lamb on one end, Tolbert on the other, and put Turpin in the slot in a 3-receiver set. I think Kevontae Turpin, if he can run routes decently, could be a great slot threat. And I hope they're putting him in that position at practice during this week. And I hope during the game on Friday we see him a play or two in the slot. And I hope Kellen Moore is cooking up something in his book. I already know he's got something, special for Pollard, but now we got Kevon Turpin just rising from the ground. Another uncovered gem, just like Jerron Curse. And these guys that we just, we're good at finding talent where other people cannot. If Turpin can play in the slot and run routes effectively, I believe he could be a dynamic weapon. Because slot receivers are usually small. Cole Beasley was like, what? I mean, Cole Beasley wasn't a big guy. Randall Cobb wasn't a big guy. So putting him in the slot, and if he gets lined up against a safety or a linebacker or something like that, and you get a mismatch with his speed, that's game over, man. That could be a dangerous wide receiver 3 set with him being wide receiver number 3. It will help out immensely while Gallup is out. And then when Gallup comes back, you can have Michael, Lamb, Gallup, and then if Tolbert isn't really, playing as well as we want him to, have Turpin as wide receiver number 3. Have him in the slot, because Gallup is not a slot receiver. Gallup is an outside guy. Lamb can play both. So you could just rotate Turpin and Tolbert. Tolbert could, play on the end, and Lamb is good in the slot also. So since I don't think we're going to sign a receiver, it's less than 3 weeks away from kickoff. If we were going to sign a Will Fuller or a T.Y. Hilton, I think we would have done it by now. I don't see it happening. I think Kevon Turpin could really cure that wide receiver problem that we have. Because, that's what he's played his whole career. and return to football. And being a return man, I said it, and everybody kept telling me, cool my Jets and this and that. Watching Undisputed yesterday, Shannon Sharp said the exact same thing I did. We haven't had a dangerous return man like this since Prime. Not saying that he is like Prime, but we haven't had a feared guy out there fielding punts, somebody that kickers want to kick away from since Prime. We have not had a returner like that. Dwayne Harris, Lucky Whitehead, them guys were good, but they weren't feared. They weren't like, we're backed up at our own 10, and we got to punt the ball. It's probably going to hit, their 40. We don't want to kick to this guy, so we're going to try to angle it out of bounds. And sometimes when you do that, the punter tends to shank it. We were 27th and 29th on field position after kickoffs and punt returns. 27th and 29th. I don't know which one is which. But anyways, that's not good field position after returns. Now with Turpin, I think on kickoffs, if the ball's 5 yards in the end zone, I think Bones Fossil's telling him to take it out and see what you can do with it. And same with punt returns. As long as someone's not in your face when you're catching the ball and you got space to move, catch it and go. I believe our field position can be immensely better this year after kickoff and punt returns than last year. And that's yards. That's less yards that the offense has to go. A lot of exciting things to look forward to here. Tristan Hill, maybe because he knows it's his last year of his rookie contract. And if he's a dud, he probably the end of his career, really, because he has been horrible the first 3 seasons. Now this year, he is looking pretty good in preseason. And then he gets that strip sack, fumble, and recovery. One of his good plays in that second game against the Chargers. So a lot of things to be excited about with this offense. This running game, I believe, is going to be a force with Tyler Smith. Now I'm glad we live life forward and we understand it backward. We all wanted Zion Johnson, and the Chargers took him. We were pissed. And then we're like, okay, well, there's Linderbaum still. And we didn't draft him. We drafted Smith. And then the very next draft, Denver drafts Linderbaum, the best center in the draft, supposedly. And we're thinking, they freaking blew it. But seeing Tyler Smith play in the first 2 preseason games, and he's just scratching the surface, his ceiling is a skyscraper. It is the sky. This guy can be an all-pro level offensive lineman, and he's just getting started. And every rep in practice, every play in a game, he is getting better in his fundamentals. His strength is run blocking, and when he gets his hands on you, it's pretty much a done deal. If he gets his hands on the Jordan Davis, I bet you he's going to win that matchup. And seeing the Eagles preseason game, this last one, Jordan Davis don't look like he has a whole lot of wind. And with Smith and Steele as the starters now, and Williams and Collins out, I've been telling people that's an upgrade to the offensive line. And the first 2 games, we've been running the ball at will. And when we have Ty Smith in there and Zach Martin and them boys and Elliott and Pollard, I believe we're going to be running that ball for 150 plus a game. And that's really going to help with Gallup being out. But with having Turpin, that's going to, just make it a lot easier. Because when we're running 2 tight end sets, we can have 2 receivers. We can have Lamb and Tolbert for the first few games. Or, if we're just running, a 1 tight end set, 3 receiver, Turpin, in the slot. So many different ways our offense can come out and look. And our defense is just going to be shut down. I can tell y'all that now. On my last video, I thought the top 100 players of 2022 had already been listed, and I thought we only had 3. Lamb at 95, Ty Smith at 92, and Zach Martin at 68. But they were still counting down. So you saw Dak Prescott make it at 44, finally getting, respect he deserves. Diggs was at 23, and I don't know what Parsons was at, but I'm pretty sure he's high up the list if Trayvon Diggs was ranked 23. But, yeah, guys, after we want to see what this offense looks like in a series or 2 against Seattle, and then get ready for Tampa. And the first 2 games of this season, Tampa and Cincinnati, we're getting a little bit lucky because, as you know, Tampa, their center, Ryan Jensen, that's heart and soul of that offensive line. I mean, I don't wish this on nobody. He's suffered a horrific injury. He is out for the season for sure. They lost Ollie Marpet, their guard, in free agency. And their other starting guard is hurt. And then, Tristan Wirfs strains his oblique. And he's day-to-day. He's not guaranteed to start week 1. Tom Brady just came back to the team. He hasn't had, hardly any reps with Julio Jones, Kyle Rudolph, these guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out really rusty in week 1. And if we can start off 2-0, the first 2 games are the most pivotal games of the season, in my opinion. They will direct the season and kind of make it what it's going to be. If we start off 2-0, beat Tampa and Cincy at our house, and the Super Bowl hangover is real, so I'm not expecting, I'm not that scared of the Bengals. It looks like they had a Cinderella run. Good for them. They got Lyle Collins and a big center from another team to try to boost their line because that was their weakness, and our strength is pass rushing. If we start off 2-0 without Michael Gallup and Lamb as the only proven receiver, because Turpin's not a proven receiver, we know he can return the ball, but with Lamb as our only proven wide receiver, if we start off 2-0, that's like found money. Because then we got at Giants Monday night, and then we got Washington at home after that. I would bet the farm those 2 games are wins. Week 5 at the Rams, I would say it'll be a battle, but probably a loss. And then at Philly, just like 2006, Week 6 at Philly, but won't have the same ending. I believe we're a better team than the Eagles. I think we're gonna sweep the East again. And then after the Eagles, it's at home against the Lions and Bears, and then the bye week. That's the first 8 games. So if we win the first 2, against Tampa and Cincinnati, it's very feasible to go into the bye week 7-1, 6-2 at the worst. But really, if you sit there and think about it, what we have on offense, on the offensive line, and what our defense is going to look like this season, how good it's going to be, and what Micah Parsons is going to look like in year 2 as a game has slowed down for him now that we got Anthony Barr out there. And Trayvon Diggs, as quarterbacks are going to adjust to him and know that he can be baited, he also knows that too. So he's not going to bite as much as he was last season. He will adjust as well as everybody else will. It's not like he's just going to play the same game that he always plays and then just start getting beat every play. I think he will develop into a shutdown corner. It's only his second season. In his first season, he was playing with a mess of a defense and still had a damn good rookie year. And had that hustle when he, ran behind DK Metcalf and knocked the ball out before he scored a touchdown. That's heart and passion of the game that he has. And Anthony Brown coming off the best season of his career. A lot of guys on defense coming off the best season of their career under Dan Quinn. And Dan Quinn had a bunch of young guys last season. And now we're going into the second year where a lot of these players are going to progress. And I think our front seven is going to be freaking lethal. I mean lethal. And against Tampa, without Ryan Jensen and without them two guards that they had from last year, Neville Gallimore and Osi Odigizua, I think, are going to give Tom Brady hell up the middle. I mean, Tom Brady don't mind pressure on the ends because he'll step up in the pocket, but you give him pressure in his face, that is his kryptonite. And that is falling in favor of us in that game with their offensive line getting decimated the way it is. And especially if Tristan Wirfs is a no-go, if that strained oblique gets aggravated or just isn't ready, and you got to back up at tackle against Parsons or Tank Lawrence or Dante Fowler, I mean, man, Tom Brady's going to be in for a hell of a first week 1. He might want to retire after that game, after the season, as beat up as he gets. if this line, if his offensive line continues to be maligned, and he gets a lot of punishment this year, I'm pretty sure it'll be his last year because he's 44. Surprised he's still playing. I think that's about all I wanted to touch on. Yeah, guys, I know there's a lot of Cowboy fans out there that are thinking we're a 9-10 win team. Probably won't win the East. I don't know why they're so pessimistic. There's a lot to look forward to. And we're not going to be the same team we were last year. We're not going to operate the same way. We're not going to be air raid. We're going to get back to the ground and pound, and our defense is going to be better, and our special teams is really going to be special with a dangerous return man. Field position can change games. And we were horrible after punts and kickoffs on field position. With that, change, if we go from 27th to 29th to, 15th or 14th or whatever, that's a big yard difference. And that's the difference between the offense going 50 yards for a touchdown or 80, or 75. That's the difference between 3 first downs in a field goal range or, 5-6 first downs in a field goal range. A lot to think about. And Tyler Smith, whenever we drafted Frederick, a lot of people had a 3rd-round grade on him and said, that was just, a bust pick. And had he not got that syndrome, he would have been a Hall of Famer easily, because Zach Martin and Ty Smith will be gold jackets for sure. And we are rebuilding our line right now with Terrence Steele and Tyler Smith. And Biotish has been looking good in preseason too. Hopefully he can look that good against the starters when it comes to the regular season. He's going into his third year. And one more thing I want to hit on. 88, CeeDee Lamb. A lot of people thinking that he's not up for the task to be number one. A little fun fact. The history of wide receiver number 88 for the Cowboys. Drew Pearson in his third year came into his own, had a big season, 9 touchdowns. Michael Irvin in his third year. His second year really didn't count because he was out all year with a knee injury. So his third real season, he had a breakout year, had like 1,500 yards and like 10 touchdowns. Des Bryant's third year had 1,352 touchdowns, 1,352 yards, 12 tubs. And Lamb is going into his third year. Let's see if he can get that streak to continue. 88's on their third year, breaking out. Because he's going to be the number one, and he's embracing it. And I think he's got the skill set and the motivation to do it. If he can just really get his routes more crisp, he can be a dangerous receiver. A top 10, top 7, or top 5. We shall see. Because we know Dak can deliver the ball when he has 2 legs. And he'll have 2 legs this season. He had 1 last season. He'll have 2 this year. Please comment, subscribe, and like. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this video, please do it. My goal is to get to 1,000 so I can do live shows. Law Nation just told me to be patient. He's real busy, and when the time is right, we'll do a show together so he can try to jolt me, up to 1,000. I'm pretty sure doing a show or 2 with him will help that. But please subscribe, guys. Just press a button. That's all you got to do. It's free. And I like the video too, supposedly the algorithms, it pushes it up further. But that's it for this episode of Charles in Charge Cowboy Sports Report. I'll hit y'all back after the Seattle game and see what we see and, dissect that. And then after that, really talk about week 1. It's less than 3 weeks away, baby. I'm ready. Are y'all? Y'all be safe, be good. Keep God first. He's everything. Charles in Charge is out.